What's up? What's good? Matt Clark here at the new Matt Clark. How are each and every one of you doing on this amazing Sunday? I'm doing great. My girl's doing great. My family's doing great. I hope each and every one of you are doing great, even though we're living in these same exact times of just BSing crazy. If you could please hit that like button, that subscribe button, and the bell notification button to get all my videos when they're new. If you could share with somebody on social media, help spread the message, help spread the word, that would be amazing. And there's a PayPal option if you'd like to donate, help support the channel. The link is in the description of all of my videos. So what's up? It's good to be here on this amazing Sunday, and I hope that we can have a good conversation. I got somebody that I want to introduce you guys to. Matt B300, what up? JH, what up? Excitable 101, what up? Go Down Debbie Gang, what up? And yeah, whatever you guys want to talk about, man. What's the topic of conversation? There's a lot going on in the world, so obviously there's lots to talk about. But it's up to you guys what you guys want to talk about. That's why I do the lives and the Q&As. And I feel like it gives you guys a good opportunity. Some blueberry cookies. All right, I got some Mother of Berry, some Dr. Pink, some Green Death. I don't really get into specific people that I met inside, bro. But I've met some Toronto rappers. You know what I mean? R.I.P. England. I'm half Italian, so you already know. Ben, what up, brother? Got the blue dream. Oh, yeah. Italiano, my paisan. I'm happy. Yeah, my girl's Ukrainian Italian. Hold on, I want to introduce you guys. Hold on. Come here. Mama. Come on. Oh. Come on. Hello. This is Tonka. Ow. I found him in an excavator at my work, and he just got neutered, and I was able to pick him up. He's an amazing little guy. He's an amazing little fella. And anytime you scratch his neck, he starts licking because he loves it. He's got the lampshade on because he has been neutered. So soon enough, he'll be able to take it off, and that will be sweet. Well, I know who Bam Bam is. Bam Bam was in the West Detention. He's killed people before. That's no surprise to me. Are there many black Americans in Canada not from Africa or Caribbean? I wouldn't say there's many, but there is some for sure. You know, you do get American guys throughout the system every now and then. So hold on, let me get rid of the cat making a bunch of noise. Come on. Come on. Come on. Go see mama. Go see mama. Sorry, he's crazy, man. He's just attacking a paper bag. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's nuts, man. Yeah, and this is the thing. The reason why I rescued the cat, because typically what I wanted was a dog. But I felt like the universe put that cat in front of me for a reason. I was the only one in the shop. They fell out of the excavator turret in the middle, and it would have crushed them if they were on a job. I was able to trap the mom and take the two kittens to the ASPCA. And once they were neutered, I was able to pick them up. Bam Bam was the guard, wasn't it? Or Bam Bam was the inmate. I know a couple inmates named that too. I'm confused. But Exeter Road is crazy, man. Been a lot of people dying there. Okay. Okay. I get it now. That's nuts. Exeter Road, man. And even if you're in Lindsay or if you're in the West Detention or the East Detention, you see a lot of that, man. You see a lot of dudes getting smashed out by the coppers. And it's crazy to see sometimes. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I know a couple from Toronto. So hopefully it's not that dude that I know. But what else, man? That's crazy to me, though. You know, it's sad to see that there's no oversight. You know, like there's nobody. When the system overlooks the system, then there's no accountability and they can do what they want, pretty much. I've definitely done time with Americans that have been booked up here, and I've done time with people that were on the prisoner exchange program. So guys that got booked in the States, did a whole bunch of time in the States, and then came over here. And then guys that were American got booked here, did a bunch of times, and then got exchanged for inmates from the States. Exeter's a bad bucket to be if you're beefing with the feds, for sure. Any bucket's bad if you have a problem with the feds. You know, the reality is that anytime that you pick a fight or fire off on a staff member or whatever, they're just going to lock you in segregation. They're going to do what the hell they want to you. And it's a chance you take anytime you fire off on somebody. So if someone did something in a certain area but takes off, will they go home? I don't understand what that means, brother. What's up, Dave? Yeah, there's Mighty Mouse from there. There was Mr. Singh and Bam Bam the guard from the West Detention. There's a whole bunch of different guys from around the GTA. That's possible, Mr. Bum Tickler. I know that that what's his name was in the Maplehurst. Lloyd Banks was in the Hearst. Yeah, see? And I'm pretty sure Ja Rule got arrested in Toronto. You know, it just happens sometimes. Sometimes people end up getting booked. Maybe they're here doing a show. They're at a club. They got the strap on them. Congrats on changing your life around. Do you feel that corrections help you rehabilitate and reintegrate back to society, or was it just mostly punishment and detention? It's punishment and detention for sure. I got the opportunity from corrections to go to Stonehenge when I got out, and that changed my life. But definitely there's no real programming inside that's really going to help anyone. It's really just kind of vague and basic programming. Let's say I did something in X and went to Z. Would they take me back to X? Probably. I don't get it. Would you ever have a CO in for an interview? Be an interesting dynamic? I don't think so, man. You know, I just think there's enough guys that do that bring COs on their channel, and just not really feeling it. What's your thoughts on the 16-year-old wanted for attempted murder from Richmond Hill? They released his mugshot. I have no idea. I never saw the case. I'd have to check it out. If anything, I just say I feel for the kid, man. I know if he's guilty, he did something to somebody, but there's a reason why, you know, and people aren't just born like that. People don't just, you know, not always anyways, but it's influence and stuff, and it's getting caught up with the wrong people, and it's sad either way, you know, and he's going to have to do his time, and hopefully he learns. But Man, that's crazy. 16 years old. I remember there was a time in Richmond Hill where nobody was doing nothing like that. You know, you might smash somebody, you might jump somebody, and I guess you could get an attempted murder for that. But what's the longest that I went on the run? How did they find you, and what happens when they do? I'd say, you know, a couple months here, a couple months there. It depends. I'd say though, when I was actually like on the run from a halfway house, from federal parole, it doesn't take very long typically because they put all the money in the world to get you. They post your mugshot if you're a federal offender. There's a bunch of things that they do. So typically doesn't take very long. But when I was on the run from young offender, when I ran away from open custody, I'd be on the run for like 3 months or 2 months. And then when I ran away from the halfway house the first time in 2004 or 2005, I was on the run for 30 days, but I was doing crime. And that's what would get me caught, was that I was actually like actively doing crime and on the run. So eventually, you know, you just get caught up in something. Man, that's crazy. There's sometimes, man, there's some people you just can't mess with them. It doesn't matter where they're from. You know, typically people don't just shoot innocent people. And you know, when you see it from in the news and stuff, they put it out there typically like the person who gets shot is this crazy innocent person and the person who does the shooting is a monster. But we don't really know what happened and built up to that, right? He could be. There's a possibility that it's just random. He just chased them down and shot them for no reason. But more than likely, if he's guilty of this, it's more likely because something happened. There was some kind of violation, you know, and at the end of the day, I feel for the guy, man. I feel for both sides. Glad that nobody died. Good thing it's only attempted murder. You have any encounters with cops since you've been out? Honestly, I haven't. You know, I don't do nothing. I stay out of trouble. I had one day where I was driving and I had a cop pull up behind me and I thought he was going to pull me because the way he was driving behind me, he was being all aggressive and he followed me on the on-ramp onto a highway. And so I assumed that he was going to pull me, but he didn't. Eventually, he just pulled out and kept it moving. Excuse me. I never tried Halcyon sleeping pills, but I used to try. Sometimes I'd do Seroquel, or you do like Nozanan or something like that. Really, it would be, for me, mainly only like before I got out or if I was in the provincial system when you're shaking it rough a lot of the time. But, you know, I try not to do sleeping pills and stuff. I feel like they give me anxiety and it just makes me feel like my bones are going to jump out of my skin. If you're in the building, go up top. See that? Hit that like button. It helps the channel a lot, and I appreciate it every time that you do it. So thank you very much. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, might as well do that too. We speak on prison. We speak on life. We speak on addiction. And I'm going to start doing more polls and stuff like I did the other day, getting more ideas and stuff. And maybe sometimes I'll just do like, you know, videos where you guys can write in questions, maybe under a community post, and I can answer those questions during a video. And there's just a lot of things I'd like to eventually do and branch out into. Are the court systems slow? That's an understatement. One day I'll come on for an interview. I've been clean and sober and out of the system for 5 years. Come on, brother. Any interview coming with any of the bigger prison channels? Nah, I try to stay away from that. It's not that I don't want to interview guys on prison channels, but, you know, I'd like to give voice to the people that don't really have a voice, you know, and I think that original stories and stories that people haven't heard is the best way to go. And I'm definitely open to doing interviews with people, going on other channels, having people come on to share their stories, but it's not something that I really focus on. And honestly, I've just been so busy over the last couple of months, I really haven't focused on interviews at all. But it is something that I'd like to get back into and do more of the door's always open. Like, people can contact me on Instagram, the new Matt Clark, all small letters, all one word, if they would like to do an interview, and I'm definitely open to that. I really don't think that when you released from prison the last time, what was the first thing you wanted to do? Smoke a cigarette. That's the first thing I wanted to do. Tim Hortons coffee and a cigarette. I knew I was going to treatment, so I didn't have many options, Yeah, I had when you're going either to a halfway house or to a treatment center, when you leave a federal penitentiary, it's a straight there to there trip. You're not really allowed to stop. You can quickly stop and get some food. That's about it. I really don't think jail is the answer. What do you think, Matt? How can you get better in jail? Is jail supposed to get you better? I think you can get better if you're in jail, but I don't think it's always the answer. And I think that to get better in jail, you have to be proactive and do it yourself. I feel like there are ways that you can find opportunities, whether it's a bursary for college courses or earning a little bit of money, bit by bit, saving up to buy some college courses or whatever it is. There's ways, just reading and working out, and that makes you better, improving your physical health, your mental health. It is all important if you're in prison, but I definitely think that prison's not always the answer. No. Jail should improve you, but the system isn't designed for that. It's designed opposite of that, to break you down so you continue to go in and out, in and out, in and out, unless you're a super violent criminal, and then they just throw you away and lock the keys. 25 mans in here and the likes don't match. Y'all sleeping on my guy. That's what I'm saying, B. They almost match right now, though. I always got the ride or dies, though. That's for sure. Another interview for Lockdown 23-1 would be unreal. Well, we'll see what happens later on in the future, but I'm not holding my breath. You know what I mean? I feel like he's done all he can to help me. I appreciate the guy a lot. I'm a personal member on his channel. I just think he's a really good dude. Shout out to Lockdown 23-1. If you guys go holler at him, tell him I sent you. Lockdown 23-1. He's a real dude, and he helped a lot of us kind of start out our own little movements, Before I did my interview with that dude, I had like 12 or 14 subscribers. And then by the time my interview was done, the next day I had like 400 or 500 subscribers. And I know a lot of people don't think that's a lot, but to get the first 400 subscribers is the hardest part. It's the hardest part. Thank you very much. Go down, Debbie Gang, for the 10-piece. I'll definitely keep up the positive movement. But the first 1,000 to me is the most difficult. The first 4,000 watch hours is the most difficult. Once your videos start kind of getting some views, and, once they get into the thousands of views, then people will just kind of click them automatically, even if it's not like a ton of people. The growth kind of goes with you. But a lot of people also just get lucky and have that viral moment, and they're able to blast off. The problem is a lot of people start YouTube and they think that it's this boom, you just post a video and all of a sudden you got 5,000 subscribers and everybody's just making thousands of dollars. It doesn't work like that. It really doesn't. For every channel that does that has that viral moment and blows up, there's 150,000 channels that don't. Do they have the hole in Canada? 100% they have the hole in Canada. Yeah, I'm on the slow grow, but I'm on the faster than slow grow. And I don't care. At the end of the day, for me to even think I have over 6,000 people that are interested to listen to me even say anything is crazy to me. So I'm happy with that. I'm not in this just to make money. If money comes from it, that's bonus. I support myself. I make my own money. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, if money ends up coming from this and it becomes a real profitable endeavor, well, that's great. But at the end of the day, I get a lot from it. It helps me maintain my recovery and my, accountability with myself. So, because I already know. Slow dough is definitely better than no dough. That's for sure. And I get like some weird messages and some weird offers and stuff sometimes. And I've had some pretty cool things happen. I've come across some subscribers in public, which was super cool. Yeah, I definitely have learned a lot since I've been on the channel, and it's helped me in all aspects of my life. And you guys already know I appreciate you, though. I used to choke this guy in Maplehurst for hot trays. He'll probably block me because he knows it's true. Who's this guy that used to choke in Maplehurst for hot trays? Who's that dude? Is that me you're talking about? Are you guys still here? Is this like freezing up? Am I losing it? Is it freezing up? And if you're not in the building, go up top, hit that like button. I never even did time in Maplehurst other than like a couple of weeks. So, nice try, buddy. Can you travel to USA with a record? Not really. No. You can get what's called a criminal waiver, which basically means that you have to go to the government, tell them exactly what you're going to be doing there. They, assess a cost for that time period and your risk, and then you can choose to pay that amount of money to be able to travel across the border. You should travel to the U.S. border and dare them to do something. To me, they'll do something. A white male? You're going to lock me up. I don't know if you can get one of those waivers with aggravated assault on your record. You'd have to look into that yourself. But I know that it is possible. If you've been away from crap for so much time, they'll assess the risk. They'll give you like a time limit of how much time you can be there, and they'll levy like a fee to it, and you can choose. I know I had a buddy that went to a funeral. He had gotten caught with a gun and done a couple years in the pen, 3 years or something like that. And later on, after he was done all of his parole and everything like that, he wanted to go to his brother's wedding, and he had to pay like $4 or $5 grand to go for a weekend. And you're on so much strict conditions, like you can't do this, can't do that. It's there, it's back. I have no interest in going to the U.S., to be honest. Like, I've been to the U.S. when I was younger. I don't know if you can drink anything. I don't know if you can smoke, drink. I don't know what you can do, because I'll never get any waiver. I don't think I'll ever get a pardon or anything. I just think my record's too bad. They're never going to give it a bly, And that's just for that person for a weekend. Who knows what it will cost. To the guy asking about traveling to the States with the record, he needs to know that even with a full pardon, you can and will still get turned back. Pardons are a scam. Pardons are really mainly just so you can get work. All it really does is take your record off of like an employer, like if they were to do like a criminal record check or something like that. But even if like a Fed was to run your name, it would probably say criminally pardoned ex-con. Yeah, I have no interest in becoming a priest, brother. So what are you guys up to? You guys see that Conor McGregor fight last night? That ankle snap? He's a punk. He was getting washed. He was going to get washed in that fight either way, whether his ankle broke or not. He's a wash up. Too much money, no heart. It was a bad look, lying there talking, your wife is in my DMs. Like, come on, bud. Joanne, what's up? So is it true, hard to come to Canada with a DUI? Yeah. If you have anything other than maybe like a single theft under when you were like a high school student, and even that could get you turned away. But if you have any kind of drug charges, any kind of violence, DUI, anything like that, you're not going. Where do I see myself in 5 years? Honestly, I don't know. Day by day, man. I try not to look that far ahead, I feel like you can set unrealistic expectations and you can become discouraged if you don't reach them. So I kind of like to build reasonable goals, kind of like a few days or a few weeks or a month at a time, rather than, overwhelming myself with this huge plate full of food, if that makes sense. So, ultimately, if everything lined up, 5 years, I'd like to see myself as a father, possibly married, making money, helping people, maybe figure out some way to kind of like do more, start. I don't know. I'd like to like kind of get involved with Stonehenge again. I just don't really know how to do that. I don't know if you can be a firefighter in Canada with a felony. I have no idea. In the Canadian pen, if your family member dies, are you allowed to attend if locked up? It depends on who you are. In some cases, they definitely will take you. If you're not a high risk escape risk, if it's immediate family, they definitely will assess it. But if you're someone like me who has escapes and a bunch of different sets of crimes and stuff, good luck. Ryan, yeah, I got a girl now. I've had a girl for years. We're going on 3 years. A most amazing woman in the whole world. Best thing that ever happened to me. Ryan, probably not. Well, they've never had a problem with construction and stuff like that. And honestly, there's a lot of money to be made in construction and trades. Oh, for sure. First impressions of the Octagon design of the super jails 20 years ago. I kind of thought it was nuts how big these jails were because we were used to kind of like city jails. I was personally, anyways, jails that were kind of up, levels, floors, look more like a hospital than a jail. But I feel like now when they put the super jails in, whether Maplehurst, Lindsay, Penetang, or now the South or Niagara super jails, Niagara or Windsor super jail, maybe Windsor. I think they're building the pods up in Ottawa and stuff too. I just think it's crazy. They're massive. And when you walk in, you expect them to be, these rough and tough places, which, they can be. A lot of dudes cramped into one place. It's kind of like the American design, put as many dudes as you can safely in one building on one piece of property. So that's what they do. And I know the super jails hold like about 1,100, 1,200 guys. And the South is about 2,400 guys, I'm pretty sure. Thank you, Joanne. We will definitely be amazing parents. Yeah, there used to be a lot of criminality in the States with trades in the 70s, 80s, construction and glass. Oh, yeah, for sure. There still is, man. Believe me, in every business, there's some shady side of it. Longest time you spent in the hole, did you ever get out for a day and then go back? So the longest time I ever spent in SEG was 3 months, maybe a little bit longer than that, when I got kicked out of Fembrook and went to Joyceville. But that was a federal SEG. And in those days, you only did like your first week or two without getting a TV and stuff. And after that, you get all your stuff. You get your TV, your stereo, everything. And back then, you could have a big 300-watt stereo system. You could have all your clothes. You could smoke while you were in SEG. It was a different time. But the hardest time I ever did in SEG, I did 30 days loss of all privileges in Lindsay, Central East Correctional Center. Got out for like a couple days and went back for another 30 days loss of all privileges. And that's where they take your mattress at 8 o'clock in the morning till 8 o'clock at night. You get no phone calls, no books, no nothing. You want a piece of pencil and a piece of paper, you can get that. If you want a Bible, you can get that. They close the metal hatch on your door. I used to just crumple up the piece of paper and just bat it to myself off the wall hour after hour after hour. And then I just do push-up after push-up after push-up and just wait for food. It's kind of how you schedule your day. You don't want to like anger anybody, and you just want to do your own time. You don't want nobody spitting in your food. You don't want none of those kind of problems. And then you got the screamers, which just make you go crazy. And that time, that 60 days, they had to up me up in 8 seg, which is like the big hole, which is when you're up in the top of the building by yourself, separated. And they had the 2 seg in Lindsay too, which is like range seg, but that's for like more low risk guys, I guess. They always had me up in the seg hole, so I don't know. Hey man, should all drug dealers be in prison? No. I don't think anybody should be in prison who doesn't get caught for their crime. It's not my job to put anybody in prison. I did solitary confinement simulation in New Haven Library. I have no idea. The same thing that happens to anybody who's bad. It would have been rough if it had been there for more than a minute and 30 seconds. They actually had a radio playing scary, screaming, and crazy sounds like the real hole. That's weird. Oh, it was like a simulation. Yeah, no, it's crazy, man. Seg's crazy. Matt Clark's thoughts on correctional officer career path. I mean, at the end of the day, whatever sails your personal ship, I don't have any problem with what you want to do. For me personally, no, I wouldn't want any of my family members to do it. The way that I've seen correctional officers move, they come in, they're young, they seem like they're fit and in shape and motivated, and then by the time they're done, they just seem burnt out, angry, bitter, out of shape, heart attack prone, lazy, just miserable people. And I don't know if that's because the job allows them and entitles them to kind of do nothing and get paid well for it, so they just become entitled, or if it's just the fact that there's really no oversight on COs and their behavior and the way that they treat inmates, so they kind of become shady and criminal on themselves. So I would recommend to anybody who I love, don't do it. And, at the end of the day, though, I don't think it's bad for you if that's what you choose. He's a sex cell made of wood. Craziest. Most violent thing I saw in prison, I saw somebody get murdered in prison. I've seen somebody get stabbed through his throat in prison. I've seen somebody get stabbed in his carotid artery in prison. I've seen somebody get stabbed 8 times through his back. Boom, 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 clean through. I've seen a lot of bad stuff, man. You come down through the gates going out to yard, and you immediately smell the crap. You immediately smell the copper and the iron in the air. You know somebody's got it. Yeah, I'm out of here in about 2 minutes too, Dave Black. You already know, my brother. You know, a friend of mine married a prison guard, and she's a miserable. I'm sure she is. I used to live in Kingston. The COs and the ex-COs there, I had a lot of PTSD and other problems. They also didn't see a lot of much money. Not sure why. But the reality is, though, feds make a lot of money. A federal officer that's been working in the system more than like 5 years is making over $30 an hour and can get as many hours as they want. The problem is they're entitled with like 10 weeks of vacation time. They get just ridiculous freedom to call in sick, call in trauma, call in this and that. That's why the guys are always locked down for shortage of staff. People don't want to do the job. Did I respect any correctional officer and vice versa? Or was it us versus them mentality? I wouldn't say that I didn't respect any COs. I definitely met some COs that I thought were good people over the years, but there definitely is a line. You still can't cross that line, right? Rich Williams, you already know, brother. Believe me, if you become a prison guard in Canada, Ontario, first of all, if you become a fed, a beat cop in York region, Toronto, Durham region, you're going to make $100,000 a year plus. If you become a CO in a provincial institution, you're probably going to start at about $23 to $24 an hour, climb fairly quickly. And if you're a federal officer, you're probably going to start higher than that and climb even faster. Your pension would be great. Your benefits would be great. Everything, you don't have to do any work, but it's not motivating work. You're turning keys. You're being disrespectful and cruel to people. You can only do that for so long without becoming a piece of, you're either going to stop doing it, which a lot of people do. There's a lot of people that go the other way. Rather than become a shady fed, somebody who just beats guys, kills guys, breaks the law, planting stuff on guys or whatever, there's the other direction where they end up, banging inmates, or they end up bringing in drugs and smuggling cigarettes for people. It's just the way that it goes. Some people are like, screw this, I don't even care. You see what I'm saying? Entry CO in Ontario, 28 to 32 an hour. And that's like, what, 12 weeks of school probably? I have no idea. If there is a fitness test to become a CO, there isn't one to stay one, because there's lots of them that there's no goddamn way they're doing 25 push-ups. They're just... There's one in Fembrook. We used to call her Mama June, which is Honey Boo Boo's mom. She looks exactly the same, but way bigger. And she's just a miserable woman. And there's just like a funk that followed her. Like when she'd do her walks, there'd literally be a funk on your block for like 10 minutes after she left the block. Okay. See, that's not very difficult. 4-minute running. Because you only got to be able to run to the block and then stand behind the, few COs that actually do work out, that want to be those savages. Because don't get me wrong, not every CO is some lazy fat dude. You got a bunch of COs that just get jacked and they just want to take out their world frustrations on the inmates. So there's those guys too. Anyways, I got to go, guys. I got to go eat dinner. You guys already know. I appreciate you guys. Thank you very much for popping in. Love y'all. It was a good talk. And before you get out of here, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe to the channel. Why didn't Bill Cosby get attacked in jail? Because he's in jail in the States. Honestly. If he was in general population in Canada, he would have been attacked, 100%. You guys already know. Artie, Godzilla, Joanne, Edward, Go, Rich, Ryan Foster, Raphael, Mitch. You guys already know. I'll be doing another live just now, and I'll have a video up in the next couple days. You guys already know. Love each and every one of you. The new Matt Clark. T-Dot, you already know.